So this is the world's smallest full-frame cinema camera, and it's all mine. So honestly, I've been wanting this camera for over a year. Now the Sigma FP was released in October of 2019, which make this camera 5 years old. And the two things that attracted me to this camera was the form factor and the image quality. Now, a few of you may know, but I am planning to shoot a short film in October, and I bought this camera for that exact purpose. And if you want to support the channel or support the short film, you can check out my Novice color grade crash course. In this course, we'll go over the best settings for DaVinci Resolve. We'll go over how to calibrate your monitor. You'll have access to 19 lessons, and more will be added. And you'll be able to download professionally shot footage, and you'll be able to finish this course in 2.5 hours. There's also a private number inside the course that if you have any questions, you can use it to reach me. And the price of this course is $127, but stay to the end and I'll give you a discount code so you can save on your purchase. You can click the link below, it'll take you to a free lesson, and I'll see you inside the course. Now for a camera this size, it shoots cinema DNG internally up to 4K 30 frames per second. It does cinema DNG 1080 at 120 frames per second. It can shoot ProRes RAW externally, Blackmagic RAW externally. It can shoot DCI 4K externally. And my favorite feature, it can record directly to a SSD drive. Now let's talk about some features that the Sigma FP does have. Waveform, false color, EL zone, true 24 frames per second, focus peaking and focus assist, anamorphic D-squeeze internally, and you can also use the Atomos cloud feature on this camera. And it does have, but maybe a kind, power delivery through an external power source, but you can only use this feature when the camera is turned off. To put it simple, despite its cons, this camera is still amazing, especially for the price point. I wouldn't be surprised if this is where Sony got their inspiration for the Sony FX3 and FX30. They probably saw how people was impressed with the form factor of the Sigma FP and decided to design a camera similar to that, but also throw a grip on that camera as well. I'm not throwing shade on Sony for the FX3 because honestly, I would love just to try out that camera for one day. Not to buy it, not to own it, but just shoot with it and just have an experience of using that camera. Now let's talk about the size of this camera because it is tiny. It is smaller than my Fujifilm X-S20, which I'm shooting on right now. The body is made of aluminum. It feels premium, and it feels like if you beat this camera up a little bit, it will survive. Now the screen is fixed, which may be a con for a lot of people, but it's not for me. I'm okay with that because I'll always be running a monitor on the Sigma FP. There is a conversion kit you can buy online, but honestly, I'm not interested in it. The buttons feel good, not cheap. You have separate menus for the cinema mode and photo mode, which I do like and enjoy. And from what I could tell online, this camera rarely overheats, but I haven't had the chance to really put it through its paces yet to tell for myself. But the biggest con of this camera is the micro HDMI port. If Sigma ever release a successor to this camera, please let it have a full-size HDMI port, like my Fuji X-H2S. So if that port is a con for you, trust me, I understand and I get it. Like I said, I only had the camera for maybe 2 weeks, so I really didn't have the time to really test it like I want to, but I am planning to shoot so I could really put the camera through its paces. But even with its shortcomings, I love the image quality from the Sigma FP. It's the main reason why I got this camera. And if you pair it with some vintage lens, like a 50mm Canon FD 1.2 glass, it's beautiful. Chef kiss. The image looks so good. It don't look digital. And I'm totally happy with the results I'm getting from this camera. So one thing about this camera is there's not a lot of aftermarket support for it. Sigma still offers support for this camera in form of software and parts. Now the moment you guys been waiting for. Will this camera replace my Fujifilm cameras? No way in hell. The Sigma FP will serve as my passion camera for my passion projects. Something I can use to get really creative for my projects without having to worry about client feedback. So another con of this camera is that it only has 11 stops of dynamic range. I know for some that's a deal breaker. And my Fujifilm X-H2S does have 14 stops, but honestly, I still love the image quality I'm getting from this camera. Now, I'm sorry that this video wasn't more in depth, but I am planning to make one after I spend some more time with my camera. So if you like this video and you want to see more content about the Sigma FP, Make sure you subscribe, you like this video, and you leave whatever questions you have about the camera below in the comment section. And if you want to learn how to color grade your videos without having to use LUTs, definitely make sure you check out my Novice color grade crash course. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.